All right, Bob. So a quick video here. I'm going to try to break down a little bit of soloing on doxy and starting to think of how we can get around in that mode. So speaking of modes, the default thing we really want to be comfortable the most with here is this Mixolydian scale, which I think you understand is the major scale with the flatted seventh. And what's nice about that is it lets us navigate these seven chords, these dominant chords that which this song is chock full of. So whereas a B flat triad or a B flat major 7, we would think of the major scale, right? Of course, we want the flatted seventh for that, and that's going to match the chord. So I do think those first three. I'm gonna walk through them with you. Those B flat B flat Mixolydian, A flat Mixolydian, a lot harder. I start with 3 and 4, C, D, E flat, F, G flat, A flat. So maybe spend a little time with that one, make sure you got it. And then G7 is easy. All right, so the same sound, we're just getting it across, All right, and then let's finish out that line there. We're gonna have a C7, same deal, Mixolydian, F Mixolydian, and then back home to B flats. Cool. So in the real song, we're going to be switching these pretty fast on the fly. But the first step is just being real comfortable with those. I can't see down here, but I'm just going to get the basic chord. I'm just doing the root position, and we'll do those guys there. And you want to add the scale to that. Don't worry about timing. Just let's just go up with them. And then G7. Maybe back down since that one's longer. And then C7, F Mixolydian. And then we'll go up and down with this one. Cool. So again, just take as much time as you need with that. I'm gonna go ahead and do it steady here, but this is what we want to aim for being confident with. All right, so B flat Mixolydian, A flat Mixolydian, G7, G Mixolydian, C, F Mixolydian, B flat. That's the deal. Okay, good. And then we're just going to do that twice. The second time the C and the F is longer. So let's go and run it. So up and down here. Cool. So I feel like most of that is probably making sense to you. It's really just a Mixolydian gauntlet there. But once you have those scales, you're golden on it. Let's go to the third line. Next one is also B flat. And I know it says sharp 9, flat 9, sharp 9 altered, that thing there. I'm going to say let's... There's a lot of different ways we could treat this. Let's turn this C in the scale, so B flat Mixolydian, right? Let's split that C into two parts. We'll do a B natural and a D flat. So our scale will look like this now. Sorry, B flat, B, D flat, D. And you may want to get that really under your fingers. And then the rest of our scale will be the same. I know it sounds weird, but it's meant to. Those sorts of sounds. And really, this part is the... Sorry, I should do it down here. Those are the money makers on an altered chord. The flat 9, sharp 9, and the third. But just memorize those notes for it, and you should be golden. Those sorts of lines are going to be great. Okay, and then E flat, we know that one. All right, and then the diminished chord, I did want to show you the scale that's going to go with that. So I'm going to try to spare you a bunch of the theory for this. I'll just show you how I think about this scale. And it is a great one to know. You can use it in a lot of instances. Obviously, we would think of it starting from E, but I'm just going to show you. It's kind of color-coded here. We have C and E with these two black keys in between. And then the opposite up here is F sharp and A sharp with these two white keys in between. So, white keys on the outside, black keys on the outside. And it sounds like this. I go 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. Actually fits the hands pretty well. I'm doing a lot of 1, 2, 3s and 1s. So take some time with that one. It's going to seem really strange at first, but once you get that under your fingers, it's useful. And if you're playing that E diminished chord, again, a lot of improvisers are limited on diminished. They don't know what to do. They just arpeggiate. But if you know the scale, you can step through with ease. It's that guy there. And then, yeah, the fourth line is just like the first one. So I know there's the B section too, but this will give us a good start. So really, it's just knowing your Mixolydians, and with two exceptions. We got that weird altered scale, and that's different than the one on the scale map, but that's one we'll use for now. And then the diminished scale. Cool. Okay, so the first step again is just being able to plunk that chord and lay out your scale options up here. This scale map that you sent me actually does a great job of kind of linking these scales together. And they show you which scales they're using. Like if you play this first line, he starts on the root, B flat, C, D, E flat, F. So this F, I would call a pivot note. You know, it's in both scales, but as he moves on from it, once that A flat chord is happening, he's playing A flat Mixolydian. And then third of the chord, B. And it looks complicated, but it's all white keys. So that's that line, and that's a great one to play if you can get that. They kind of did some cruel things writing that out as far as C flats and all that kind of jazz. But you know, just I would get the scales down first. But here's how to really kind of get this stuff going. I think what I would do is target the third of the chord for each one. So if we're doing like B flat 7, that's a D. A flat 7 has a C, and G7 has a B. And I would start with just that if we're doing like, let's do two, we'll do chord notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then start to build the scale up from that. So I'm doing B flat. So I'm going to go 4 notes up starting on the third. So B flat 7, 1, I'm sorry. Yeah, we'll do 4 notes. We'll make it 8. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jumping back to the third here. A flat Mixolydian. And then 1. Since this one's longer, again, I'm just going to keep it straight there. 8 notes for that one. So take a look at that fast. Right, and then for C7, I would go to the third of the chord again, the E, A, Mixolydian here. Cool. And again, I know it's not like, might not be that inspiring to be like just straight 4 notes up through the scale starting on the third, but you want to have that control first, and then you can go nuts. So again, like I would really try to shoot for 4. Basically, we're playing 8th notes here, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and cool. And master that line first. I mean, most of this is the same. We'll deal with that third line in a second, but that would be the first challenge there. All right, and then from there we can get a little fancier. Again, you know some B flat stuff, you know, like sliding, those kind of guys. But the thing to remember is you only have 2 beats with that, so you don't want to get lost like doing all your blues tricks. You know, we've lost it at that point. So if we're going like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right. So again, use those tricks, but use them sparingly, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 right? You're master G7, so use those 4 beats to go nuts. And then C7, of course, we got that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and cool. And again, I know it sounds a lot fancier, but I'm just building out those third slides and stuff that you know. So let's try to put all that together. Cool. One more time. Sorry, I messed it up. Cool. I know, different every time, but I'm still trying to center around those same concepts as they go through. All right, cool. And then second line, same deal. You just got longer C7 and longer F7. So let's take a swing at that stuff. So we're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Good. And that's the deal. Sorry, all over the map. But again, just take it line by line and see what you can sculpt. There's no exact play this lick. We can give you some licks to find, but use your imagination. You've got the ear, you've got the skills really on these chords, especially the G7, C7, F7 type stuff. So utilize those blues licks, but keep them in time. Basically, easier said than done. Take a little practice, but I know you can do it. All right, third line. I want to show you how to use these altered things. So again, B flat 7, 4 beats of it. And then I'm going to use that kind of weird quadrant here. I hit the third, E flat 7. Doing triplets there at the end through that weird scale there. Up. All right, so tough line. Let me take one more swing at it. 1 and 2 and 3. Sorry. Right, and then we're back to. That's kind of the game. Cool. So I know it might probably seem a little overwhelming here, but again, take that step of going just chord by chord. I can't tell you how many hours I've spent doing one chord. And I know we don't have 32 beats to play with, but that's where those chops come from. If you've got that backlog of I've experimented in all the possibilities of combinations that my imagination can come up with that scale, your brain's gonna pull those out when it's time to do it for 4 beats. And be R. Right, but for both of those, I'm just thinking B flat mixolydian. That's the deal. Okay, cool. I know. Scattered as usual. I'm just trying to throw as much info in as I can. I'm gonna do one more pass, just kind of walking down through the whole thing, and then I'll go a little slow. If you like any of these licks, we can slow them down and kind of grab them. Okay. Cool. Kind of butchered that third line, but that's the deal. Just kind of practice them up. Cool. So I know that's a wide range of stuff to conquer there, but just shoot for a line at a time. Again, the summit of this mountain is glorious if you can get there. So do what you can, and we'll pick it up next time. All right, buddy. Talk to you soon.